Welcome back to the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm Sarah Martinez.
And I'm Frank Peterson. And Sarah, before we even start, I have to tell you what happened to me at the doctor's office yesterday.
Oh no, what did you do now?
Well, you know how we always talk about being honest with your doctor? I walked in there and the nurse asked me how I've been sleeping. And I'm thinking, Frank, be honest. Tell her about the 2 a.m. snack runs. Tell her about staying up watching old westerns until midnight.
Please tell me you didn't actually.
I looked her straight in the eye and said, like a baby. Sarah, babies wake up every 2 hours crying. Why do we say that?
Oh my God, Frank. That's perfect because today we're talking about the 3 biggest health lies that we seniors, and yes, at 51 and 53, we're claiming senior status whether you like it or not.
Hey, AARP started sending me mail at 50. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is.
Exactly. The 3 biggest health lies we tell ourselves, our doctors, and frankly, each other. And Frank's sleeping like a baby comment is actually touching on our first one.
Wait, before we dive in, I have to ask our listeners something. How many of you have ever told your doctor you're fine when you're clearly not fine? And I don't mean just physically. I mean, last week Dolores asked me how I was feeling about turning 54 next month, and I said fine. But honestly, I spent 20 minutes looking at hair plugs online afterward.
See, this is why I research everything. Emma, that's my 23-year-old daughter for new listeners, she told me I should just go with the flow more like you do, Frank. But then I see you researching hair plugs at 53, and I think, maybe my way isn't so bad.
Hey now, research is good. I just do mine at 2 a.m. when I can't sleep. Which brings us back to...
Right. Okay, so health line number 1, and this is a big one that even medical professionals sometimes perpetuate. You need less sleep as you age.
Oh man, this one drives me crazy. My dad used to brag about getting by on 5 hours of sleep. Frank, when you get to be my age, you won't need all that sleep. I thought it was like a superpower I'd develop.
Like, suddenly at 50, you just unlock the achievement. Sleep efficiency activated.
Exactly. But here's the thing, and Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong because you've probably read 17 studies about this.
Try 23, but who's counting?
Of course, but older adults need just as much sleep as younger adults, 7 to 9 hours. The problem is we get worse at sleeping, not that we need less of it.
This is so important, Frank. I fell into this trap myself. Around 47, I started waking up at 5 a.m. every morning, and instead of figuring out why, I just told myself, well, this must be what happens when you age. I started bragging about being a morning person, when really I was just chronically tired.
What changed your mind?
Honestly, Emma came home from college last year and said, Mom, you look exhausted all the time. Out of the mouths of babes, right? She was taking a psychology class and told me about sleep architecture changes as we age. We spend less time in deep sleep, we wake up more often, and yes, we might go to bed earlier and wake up earlier, but we still need the same total amount.
See, that's the difference between us. Emma tells you something and you listen. If one of Dolores' kids told me that, I'd probably say, when you're 53, you can give me advice about sleep. I'm working on it.
Well, to be fair, your approach led you to discover that old westerns are terrible sleep aids.
Hey now, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a cinematic masterpiece. It's not my fault Clint Eastwood is more interesting than counting sheep.
But here's what's insidious about this lie. When we accept that needing less sleep is normal, we stop addressing the real issues. Sleep apnea, medication side effects, anxiety about aging, uncomfortable mattresses.
The mattress thing. Dolores and I spent, 15 years on this mattress that was basically a medieval torture device because we thought we're not kids anymore. We shouldn't need a comfortable bed.
Oh no, Frank.
We were so dumb. We finally got a new mattress 2 years ago, and it was like discovering fire. I told the salesperson, I've been sleeping wrong for my entire adult life.
This connects to something I want our listeners, especially our younger listeners, to understand. We grew up in a generation where discomfort was often seen as character building. Walk it off, tough it out, that's life after 50.
Right, and social media doesn't help. You see all these posts about rising and grinding and getting up at 4 a.m. to be successful. I tried that for exactly 3 days.
How did that go?
Well, I did get up at 4 a.m., but by 3 p.m., I was napping in my car during lunch break like a toddler. Dolores found me there once. She took a picture. It's now her contact photo for me.
I love Dolores.
I do too, which is why I listen when she tells me to prioritize sleep. The practical advice here is simple, but not easy. Track your sleep. Figure out what's disrupting it and address those issues instead of just accepting that this is how it is now.
And talk to your doctor. Actually talk to them, not the I'm sleeping like a baby version of talking.
Yeah, my new goal is radical honesty with medical professionals. Doctor, I stay up too late watching Westerns, I eat cereal at 2 a.m., and sometimes I Google my symptoms and convince myself I have diseases that don't even exist.
Speaking of Googling symptoms, that actually ties into our second big health lie. It's just part of getting older.
Oh boy, here we go. Sarah, didn't you used to say this about your knees?
Yes. For about 2 years, every time my knees hurt climbing stairs, I just mutter, well, I'm 49, 50, getting old, like it was some badge of honor.
I did the same thing with my back. I threw out my back putting on socks one morning. Socks, Sarah. And instead of seeing a doctor, I just started telling people, yeah, that's what happens when you hit 50. Your body betrays you.
Putting on socks. How did Dolores react to that?
She found me laying on the bathroom floor, one sock on, one sock off, looking like a very sad yoga pose. She said, Frank, this is not normal aging. This is you being stubborn about addressing obvious problems.
Smart woman. But see, this is such a dangerous lie because it stops us from getting help for treatable conditions. My knee pain? Turns out I had developed some muscle imbalances from sitting at my desk all day. 3 months of physical therapy, and I'm hiking again.
Wait, you hike now?
I hike now. Well, I do what my instructor generously calls yoga. I call it strategic falling with breathing. But Emma joined me for a class when she was home, and afterwards she said, Mom, you seem stronger.
That must have felt good.
It really did. Because you know what? We spend so much time worrying about aging that we forget we can still improve. We're not just managing decline. We can actually get better at some things.
You know what's funny? My dad is 78, and he just started taking swimming classes at the community center. And when I asked him why, he said, Frank, I figured I had 2 choices. Feel sorry for myself or do something about it.
Your dad sounds wise.
He has his moments. But it made me realize that this lie about it's too late isn't just something we tell ourselves. It's something society tells us. Like we hit 50 and we're supposed to just gracefully accept limitations.
Yes, and our kids pick up on this. Emma told me that seeing me start hiking and yoga made her realize that she doesn't have to peak in her 20s, that she can keep growing and challenging herself throughout her life.
That's beautiful, Sarah. See, this is why I like doing this podcast with you. You made me think about the bigger picture.
And you keep me from disappearing into research rabbit holes and forgetting to actually live my life.
It's a good partnership. Speaking of partnerships, I have to give credit to Dolores for calling me out on this too late nonsense.
What did she say?
She said, Frank, you talk about being 53 like you're planning your funeral. You could live another 40 years. Do you want to spend them complaining about what you can't do or figuring out what you can do?
Dolores for president.
She'd probably be good at it. But her point was that we have agency. We get to choose how we approach the next phase of our lives.
And that's really what all 3 of these lies have in common, isn't it? They all rob us of agency. They all suggest that we're just passive victims of aging instead of active participants in our own health.
Exactly. Like, I need less sleep means I don't have to address my sleep problems. Pain is just aging means I don't have to seek solutions. It's too late means I don't have to try.
They're all ways of avoiding the work. And I get it. Sometimes the work is hard. Research is time-consuming. Doctor appointments are annoying. Starting new habits requires energy.
But you know what's harder? Feeling terrible all the time and thinking it's inevitable.
Yes! I spent 2 years thinking that afternoon energy crashes were just my new normal. Turns out I had developed some blood sugar issues that were totally manageable with diet changes.
What kind of changes?
Honestly, just eating protein with every meal and not skipping breakfast. Revolutionary stuff.
Sometimes the solutions are so simple, it's embarrassing.
Right? But here's what I want our listeners to understand, especially our younger listeners. Start questioning these narratives now. Don't wait until you're 50-something to realize that a lot of what we accept as normal aging is actually just neglect with a better PR campaign.
And for our listeners who are our age or older, it's not too late to start questioning these things either. I mean, we're literally doing this right now on this podcast.
True. We're like the poster children for better late than never.
Although I have to say, Sarah, we still believe some pretty dumb stuff about aging.
Oh, absolutely. I still catch myself doing it. Like last week, I couldn't figure out how to use the new coffee maker Emma got me. And my first thought was, well, I'm 51. I guess I'm just bad with technology now.
What was wrong with it?
I hadn't plugged it in. I spent 20 minutes reading the manual for a coffee maker that wasn't plugged in.
That's not an age thing. That's a Monday morning thing.
Exactly. But we're so primed to blame our age for everything. Emma walked in, plugged it in, and said, "Mom, this has nothing to do with being 51 and everything to do with you not having had coffee yet."
Smart kid.
She gets it from her mother. But seriously, Frank, what other health lies do you think we still believe?
Oh man, probably dozens. Like, I still think I should be able to eat the same way I did when I was 25 and feel fine.
Yes. Why do we do that to ourselves?
Because pizza for breakfast used to be a perfectly reasonable meal. Now, if I eat pizza for breakfast, I need a nap by 10 a.m.
Pizza for breakfast was never reasonable, Frank. You just had the metabolism of a golden retriever when you were 25.
I miss that metabolism. But you're right. I need to adjust my expectations and my habits instead of just being confused and disappointed every time I feel terrible after eating like a college freshman.
This is growth, Frank. This is us learning.
At the ripe old ages of 51 and 53.
Hey, we're practically children. We've got decades to figure this stuff out.
All right, before we wrap up, let's give our listeners some practical takeaways. Sarah, if someone is listening to this and recognizing themselves in these health lies, where should they start?
First, start paying attention to your internal narrative. Notice when you blame your age for something before you've actually investigated whether it's fixable.
Good one. And be honest with your healthcare providers. Not sleeping like a baby honest, but actually honest.
Yes, and don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. If a doctor dismisses your concerns with, "That's just aging," ask follow-up questions. Get specific.
And start small with changes. You don't have to overhaul your entire life. I started with just walking to the mailbox instead of driving. Now I walk around the whole neighborhood.
You drive to your mailbox.
It's a long driveway.
But your point about starting small is good. I also started setting a phone alarm to remind me to stretch during the workday.
That's smart. And for our younger listeners, start questioning these narratives now. Don't wait until you're our age to realize that some of what we call aging is just a result of neglect or misinformation.
And remember, we're still figuring this out too. We don't have all the answers. We're just sharing what we've learned so far. Which brings us to something exciting. Next, we're going to talk about something that might surprise you. If you're over 60, stop eating this every morning.
And we're bringing in a special guest for that one.
Someone who really opened our eyes about morning nutrition habits that might be sabotaging our energy and health.
I will say this, what we learned completely changed how I think about breakfast. And Sarah, didn't you say it explained some of your afternoon crashes?
It explained so much, but we're not going to spoil it. Before we go, we want to remind you that if you're enjoying these conversations, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps other people find the show.
And leave us a review. Tell us what health lies you've discovered in your own life. We read every single one, and sometimes they inspire future episodes.
All right, folks, until next week, question everything, be kind to your bodies, and remember,
most of what you think is inevitable probably isn't.
We'll see you next time on the Health Living Podcast.